time management is such a big thing. We can lose sight of that when we've had an experience that has really thrown us, that has either come from trauma or it's mental health or whatever. So we find that we lose focus, that we put too much in our days, and we just don't know how to be with time. I'm Chantal, psychotherapist and Reiki master here at Unfold Your Freedom. And I want to share with you what this meant for me as well. So remember, these are for educational purposes. It's just to get you thinking. If you need support, go and seek support, professional help. Because we need to start talking. I keep saying this in all the videos that I do. We need to talk about how these big events in our lives, or it can even be benign one, as Peter Levine says in Walking the Tiger, how they can affect us and what aspects of our world they can affect us. So remember, it's not only in our personal world, it's also if we run a business or have a career, we are either an employee or an employer. It's about understanding how to support not only yourself if you've gone through trauma or have health or mental health issues, but how can you support staff around you as well by understanding that. So I keep saying my way of supporting myself is I always have notes because part of my legacy or the leftover is a lot of my concentration's back, a lot of my time management is back, but I still need to have notes. Otherwise I forget, I blank out, and then that's not supporting myself. That is all a part of our self-care. And that's what I wanted to talk to you about today, is how can you support yourself with time management? So what happens is, at the best of times, you over or underestimate how much you can do in a day. Have you done that too? I've got all these things I want to do. I get excited, I push myself, and then I don't do them, okay? Or I don't get them done. Then I feel I've let myself down. What I'm not realizing is that I'm also putting myself under pressure, not understanding the capacity that I have with time management and what I can do. Particularly when my mind wasn't in a good space, I would overestimate. So of course, what does that do? It triggers shame, you trigger embarrassment, you feel a failure, you don't know how to get out there, don't know how to make yourself visible. What will people think? And particularly if you have been like I was high functioning in that level. I was doing so well until I had my car accident 14 years ago. And that's what triggered me into complex PTSD. And I just didn't know who I was anymore, okay? So it took me a long time to come back, and that's part of me I've reclaimed back into my life, which I'm loving. So what happens is you go into overwhelm. The fear is that you can't predict what's going to happen. You don't feel safe. You lead to unmet deadlines if you're in a business, okay? And then, of course, you get so anxious, your mind gets busy, there's lack of sleep. And of course, when you have lack of sleep, I don't know about you, but you get grumpy, and I know I get grumpy, I get irritable, I can't focus, I can't concentrate, and then poof, it all happens. It all explodes in my face, okay? And then you find it hard to organize your day because you can't discern anymore what should you do, need to do, what serves you, what doesn't serve you, because you've lost that sense of, as I said, discernment. You've lost a sense of boundaries. And I'm going to be doing a video on boundaries as well to support you in how can you say no to yourself? What do you need to do? Okay. The other thing that comes into this is perfectionism. You've got to get every dot and I sorted out, everything done. You can't stop. You can't let it be imperfect. Now, the irony is it's only to your standards, not anyone else's standards. Most probably they don't even know what you have done and not done. So that's the whole thing. It's how can you slow down, which is another video. How can you pause? How can you look at what do I need to do? Okay. So time management, I'm just going to come here, is, as I said, perfectionism. You can't complete tasks. You're a starter. You can't finish. You don't know how to finish. You procrastinate. See how I jump around? And that is how you manage your time, as I said, during the day. So you put so much in your day. You don't leave space to even have a glass of water, even to perhaps go to the toilet, because you get scared, you get driven. That's what I also did, that sense of urgency. You keep going, because you just don't know how to just pause and breathe. Why don't we just do that now? Just pause and breathe. Because I can still feel my voice getting too much, okay? Now, the other thing with that is what happens is you lose sight of what's important for you. You're doing things for everyone else, and what happens is deep within, you actually begin to feel resentful. But you don't want to admit that because you want to please. What will people feel? You get nervous. Will I belong? What will they think? Will I get rejected? So all these things come into your lack of time management. putting too much in there and not enough for yourself. So how can you not feel resentful? How can you not get irritable when you're not doing something for yourself? Remember, it is not selfish, okay? You get easily distracted. Because what happens is when you can't focus, which is also part of trauma, and you can't be present, and with time management, so you're meant to do a task. What happens is you'll go off, oh, I'll do that. Oh, I'll do that. Oh, I'll take the phone call. Oh, I'll just have to go and do that as well. See, you get distracted. It's also called avoidance. You're avoiding what you need to do right now, particularly if it's something you're not familiar with, particularly if you're running a business or in a job that's pushing your boundaries, pushing you out there. It's a lot easier to stay safe. So you procrastinate and then don't do it at all, okay? The other thing is you lose sight of concept of time. I've done that. I do it now too, but in a whole different way because I get excited. Concept of time, that you no longer know how to discern, to create that time. Can I really do it in that time? How much time do I need to give myself to do that? Okay, so that's another big one. And then we multitask as a consequence. Then nothing gets done. So, you are doing too many things. That's when your mistakes happen. You forget appointments. You don't know where you put things. And it's in chaos, okay? Your mind is actually in chaos. So it's about simplifying everything. It's about slowing down, as I said, which is a video that I've just done, okay? Let's see. Okay, so what we're going to do now is I'm actually going to take you through what you can do to support yourself. Now, before I do that, is something that's been coming to me before, and again, I'm just wanting to have a discussion. With PTSD, there is an aspect that also it links in, has similar symptoms to ADHD. So again, I'm just going to share this with you because don't have enough information around it. I have spoken to my supervisor and my own psychologist about this. Now I know for me, mine is definitely trauma related. So just be mindful of it, that they do overlap. And the other thing I found as well was when I went through menopause, this also happened for me. So what happens is that, as I said to you, inattention, poor impulse control. So you don't know how to stop. You keep doing, you're impulsive. You don't know when to go, actually, I don't need to do that now. I need to finish this first. Impulsive behavior, lack of focus, sleeplessness, easily distracted, okay? You get irritable. You have poor memory and concentration. Oh my God, I used to not understand how I couldn't concentrate. I couldn't read something. I couldn't put the words together. That was traumatizing in itself, okay? That's why I keep talking about this, to give you ideas. It's not just you. It's actually what's happening to you and for you, and you can change these things. Mine has come back, which is exciting. Of course, what happens is you get completely anxious, overwhelm. And often what you do is you might even stop yourself from doing something that you're really excited about. You stop yourself going out there and trying new things, all right? And you have a lot of sensitivity to sensory stimuli. And I find that I still can have that, where if there's too much information coming in, there's too much noise, there's too many words, too much music, too bright a light, I then bomb out. I actually can't do it. So when I go to networking groups now, I can do it, but I'm also a little bit mindful, where do I sit? And also know when to leave now. It's okay if I need to leave early, because that is caring for myself. That is part of me looking after me. So then I can still get on with the things that I need to during the rest of the day, rather than falling in a heap. All right. And then, of course, what that does is contributes to a low sense of self-esteem. Okay. So what can you do? You're going to now look at what's right for you. Create systems that work for you. Are you a morning person? Are you an evening person? Do the Pomodoro effect, which is 25 minutes. Now, I needed to break that down sometimes, where you do tasks in 5-minute lots or 10-minute slots. So have time blocks where you put the alarm on. You actually put the alarm on, that you stop, have a break, come back. All right. That also helps you remain focused, concentrate. You don't get distracted. I know this sounded, I used to think, oh, this was a bit odd, but I have a place for everything, certain, or particularly a lot of things, keys, files, where I want to put things. So I have a place for everything, and I put everything back into that place, because as soon as I don't, I might find when I was at my worst, keys are in the fridge, for example. I haven't put them there, or I remember where I put them, or I take my glasses off, can't remember. So where possible, have a place, everything in its place, okay? Because that stops you from feeling scattered. So that's that declutter, that support external to support internal. Break down your to-do list. Sometimes you can look at your to-do list that's never ending. break it down. What do I need to do now? What does that task involve? Okay, again, personal and in business. Give yourself breaks. You must take time out, okay? Get a glass of water, go to the toilet, have a walk around, go into nature, whatever it is you need to do for yourself. Pause and breathe, which is I talk about a lot. Now, you can also use technology to make yourself accountable. Again, you can put the timer on to remind you, because then you know in that space you're going to be present and mindful in what you're doing. Concentration works, you get it done, a sense of satisfaction, you feel a lot better, okay? Avoid multitasking. God, it took me a long time to not do that. I now just do one thing at a time, most of the time, and what? A lot better, get things done. And particularly if you're running a business, you can't be everything to everyone. Delegate as well where you can, all right? One thing at a time. Okay, and have a plan for what you want to accomplish. So get an idea of what you want to do. So I'd have my morning routine where I wake up in the morning. How do I want to feel? What do I need to do? How am I going to do it? And I do that every morning to support myself. And what didn't happen, I do the next day, okay? And they often also say, support you with time management, do the biggest thing first, or the one thing that you don't want to do or don't know how, do that first. I still find that a little bit difficult, okay? Break down to bite size, delegate where possible, and that is your time management, okay? Love to hear what resonated with you. Again, if you get triggered, reach out. Let me know, put them into place. Now, also with this, if it feels too much, so again, don't overwhelm yourself. Put one step into place first. Then you build, then you build. Then after a while, you'll find, oh, you're doing a lot more than you realized. And that is exciting. Again, makes you feel good, supports you, you understand yourself, okay? Remember, it's about you doing what's right for you. Namaste, and thank you for watching.